This episode of the Brilliance plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the S.P.R.I.N.G formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I'm your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. The Brilliance plus Passion project is about spotlighting those who make the world a better place by being part of it and by their contributions to it. I'm coming to you today from the balcony of my sumptuous apartment here in Las Vegas, known to some as the hottest city in America. And we're here with my friend Matt Thieleman. And let me just tell you a little bit about him. He's a visionary transformational coach. He's the founder of Bristle and the author of This Is Coaching. He works with leaders and change makers to help them live into their purpose more fully and bring their masterpieces to the world. He educates and trains coaches to be world-class in their field and help their clients reach their full potential. So, Matt, welcome aboard. It's fantastic to have you here on this show as well.
Thanks so much, Adam. It's good to see you.
You bet. So just, overall, in your own words, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and society in general?
When I work with people, they literally get to create the world and life that they want. And so folks learn how to not only hit the goals that they want in life, they also get to have the experience of life that they want. And so I think the answer is sort of embedded in that. But I believe that when we get to have the life that we want, have the impact that we want, do the work that we want, then our lives are better, the lives of the people around us are better, and the world is a better place.
Absolutely. So what is it you actually do? Like, what's the product? What's the service?
Yeah, so I work one-on-one as a coach with people I call, as I said in my bio, visionary leaders. So those are people who are crazy enough to think that they can have a big impact in the world and aren't quite sure how to get there. So those are folks I work with, and I work with other coaches to help them be really good at coaching, because if we have a world of coaches but no one's really good, then not much change is going to happen. So I work with both of them one-on-one. In August, we'll also say I just released this book that you mentioned, This Is Coaching, which is for coaches who want to do deeper and better work with their clients. And I'm kicking off a group program in August related to the book as well.
Absolutely. So what are some of the frequently asked questions that people come up with as they work towards their decision to work with you?
So people ask, what is coaching? Is that sort of like therapy, or do you get
It's a good question. Yeah.
It's a really good one. They ask, what are the most common sort of things that people come to you for as a coach? And also people ask, well, what if I don't actually know what I want? Can you work with me then?
Right. What are a few questions you wish people would ask?
I wished, especially instead of the last one, I wish that people would ask, how good can things really get? And what amazing stuff might we be able to make together, create together? I wish that they would ask themselves, what if I could really change the world? What if it was okay for me to do that? And then I would also invite them to ask again themselves, but this is part of the enrollment process. What if I was entirely okay exactly as I am and nothing was wrong, and we could just start from that spot?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is where we switch to the second part of the interview. Now, you've been on my other podcast, the Business Creators Radio Show, which is more of a mastermind format. And I do encourage our listeners to go to www.businesscreatorsradioshow.com, find our episode there and check it out. It was one of my really interesting conversations. I really enjoyed it with you, and I'd love to see more and more people see it. So here at the Brilliance Plus Passion Project, this episode is really just about you and helping people see a bit more about Matt Thieleman. So this is where we go to the second part and we get to actually have a little bit of fun. So we're going to shift gears. The first thing I'd like to know is, what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
Yeah, if people know me, they know a lot about me. What they might not know is that if you're my friend, if you're someone who knows me, I deeply admire you. I think you're brilliant and amazing. And I actually want to hear your perspective on things. No matter how much I will speak or talk about my perspective, I really give a shit about you.
What do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
I hope that they say something like, when Matt's around, or just like, oh, hey, I really like being around him, and it feels like magic happens when we hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could go back in time and change one thing you've done, one thing you've experienced, one thing that's happened, what would it be and why?
This is actually probably an answer that would also fit in the other podcast, is that I wish when I was 21, 22, 23, that I had started publishing stuff online, that I had the courage to share my voice and my opinion and my thoughts courageously, and started to, in these days, build a brand, but really just get in the practice of sharing creatively.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could go back in time, actually, no, I just asked that one. This is moving along so fast here. And this is the first time we've ever done this podcast from out on my balcony at my current place. This is the very first episode where our viewers are going to see the sort of burnt orange or whatever color you call this background behind me. I moved to this place in December 2022. It's now April 2023. We went almost 4 months without even one day where there wasn't a chill factor in the air that made it annoying to sit outside. Since about a week ago, when the weather finally broke, I have been sucking up every single possible moment of this, because in another snap, we're going to be at the place where it's 110 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I am just taking in every single moment of this every way I can. Thank God for portable webcams and tripods. So
what we're getting rid of it. We're taking in the sunshine too.
Exactly. What famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the opportunity to do so, what question would you have for them?
Yeah. I'll go all the way back. I would love to hang out with Jesus, and I would ask him, like, what really happened, man? Like, I just tell me the full story. Like, what really happened? I think that'd be super fun.
Yeah, and if this were the Family Feud, I bet you, I haven't done this officially, but if I were to take a spreadsheet and write down everybody's answers, the over 150 people or so we've had on this show within the past approximately 2 years that we've been doing it, the number one answer, survey said, would be Jesus Christ. And you are far from the first person who would want to know what really happened. I'm Christian myself. I don't belong to an organized congregation. I was raised Catholic, and I discovered my faith more when I moved away from the organism and began investigating the scripture more. What was really eye-opening to me is when I saw how Jesus defined the church. It's not necessarily a cathedral building where people meet at specified times. It's pretty much any time when people come together in honor and worship of his name. So I also think of Jesus as a human being, a regular guy. Remember, he was the Son of God, but he was also the son of a woman. So he was human and he was divine. So I like to think that there was this one time that he invited his buddies to go out to a tavern. And when they got to the tavern, they were all sitting down. It was supposed to be his treat, and he touched his back pocket and he said, "Dang it, I forgot my wallet." He said, "Sorry, it's okay, guys, watch this." Server comes along and he says, "That's okay, we'll just have water, thanks."
You think that's how it started, huh?
Yeah. For our listeners who are not Christian or not familiar, I'm referring to the turning the parable where he turned the water into wine. And I think that what makes Jesus just so remarkable is that we have, for those of us who are Christian, we have a connection with him that's a connection to a human being rather than to a holy, elevated being that we only look up to. Not only do we look up to him, we look across to him. And I think part of that is how it's possible for us to feel that relationship and have him become part of our lives. And that might be the reason why Jesus is the number one answer if we were doing Family Feud. Now, yeah. So what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Yeah. A good mix of stubbornness to start, but I and this is one thing that I work with my clients on. I'm deeply connected to my why, to my purpose here. And related to our conversation just now, I really think each of us is divine. And so I do the work that I do to remind every one of us that we have some divinity in us as well. And when things get really hard, I go back to this. In fact, right over here on my whiteboard that's right next to me, I have "I'm playing for," and then list all of this. And one of these things it says is "We are God." And so in the tough days, I just look back at that and take the next step, even if it's really scary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have an invitation for our listeners, which I'm going to share on your behalf in just a moment. I'm going to do it for you. So the question I'm going to ask is a general rule. What is one thing do you encourage our listeners to do as soon as they finish streaming this episode in about a minute or so?
Yeah. So I introduced a few questions that I wish people would ask when they were thinking about working with me or hiring any coach. I would love for them to consider one of those questions, which is that if it was possible, even if it seems impossible, if it was possible for me to have some change in my life or some new thing to happen, what would I create? What would I have different in my life? And just to go and sit and spend some time journaling on that and really think about that and to think about if that change was there, then how would my life be different? You don't have to tell anyone. Don't share anyone. If you want, you can share with people, but it's just for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So here is what Matt wants all of us to see here. Let me just go and click the button here. Matt's got some gifts for you. For those of you who have enjoyed this conversation. Also for those of you who are coming here after having seen Matt's appearance on the Business Creators Radio Show, where we discuss some of these topics in even greater detail. He invites you, and I invite you on his behalf, to check out a sample from his book, This is Coaching. And also, you'll get a worksheet with one of the tools from that book. In order to get this, just simply go to www.goldenbristle.com/book resources. I'm going to say it one more time for those of you who are out and about listening to this in the background, goldenbristle.com/book resources. Otherwise, you see it on the screen. Otherwise, you see it in the show notes. It's a clickable link. Go ahead and check it out. And with that, Matt Thieleman, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, an education.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.